Hi, my name is Connie Hogan, and I will be giving a brief summary about my readings and understanding of Presenting to Win by Jerry Wiseman. Jerry Wiseman is the world's #1 corporate presentations coach. So what Jerry Wiseman does is he coaches executives, he coaches CEOs, he coaches many different types of leaders on how to go about presenting a presentation to an audience, presenting an idea, presenting a product, presenting a service, anything it may be where you're standing in front of an audience and you're presenting something. Jerry Wiseman gives brief details on how to go about presenting a successful presentation. So Jerry Wiseman he is #1 for a reason. He helps presenters catch the attention, and he helps convince even the toughest audience with techniques that have been proven in hundreds of IPO roadshows. And one of the most important topics I have learned in this book, which we did a discussion on, is WIFI. Then that's how you say it. It stands for what's in it for you. So what a presenter wants to do is he or she wants to ask the question is, what benefits does this offer my listener? Once your listener knows what's going to benefit them, it's going to instantly, 9 times out of 10, it's going to instantly catch the attention, and the listener's going to want to know more about what you have to say. So before you make any statement about yourself or your company or the product and services you offer, you first want to ask yourself, what's the WIFI? So what benefit does this offer my listener? And how you go about that is, okay, you're going to have your point A. This is the interface where your audience starts. So they are uninformed. You want to know that you want to go into a presentation knowing that what your audience is informed and uninformed about. So you never want to have a presentation talk about something that your audience, you don't want to go into brief detail about something an audience already knows. It's going to bore the audience. You're just going to not have an audience. Yeah. So knowing you want to go like they know little about your business. You want them to even be resistant and mentally committed to a position to where you're asking them to do something. So that's your point A. Point B is very important in your presentation. So point B is what you want them to do. So that's point B. So to reach your point B, you must move the uninformed audience to understand. So, and you want them to believe. And in order to do so, you want to engage your presentation. So the only way to create a successful presentation is to begin with the goal in mind. And in order to get to point B, you need audience advocacy. So to get your audience to point B, you must learn to view yourself, your company, your story, and your presentation through the eyes of your audience. And I think that's very powerful, because you want to be able to sit down and look at yourself presenting and immediately catch like, oh, okay, like if you're not interested in your own presentation, what makes you think anyone else will be interested in what you're saying? So that's what audience advocacy is you looking at your presentation through the eyes of your audience. So if audience advocacy guides every decision in preparing your presentation, you'll be effective and persuasive. So audience advocacy is very important in a presentation, and you want to make sure that you include that. So once you have your point A and once you have your point B, then you will then be able to empowered Wiphy. And so that is one of a really big point in this book, and I found very effective because me in my career, I'm going to be presenting a lot of different meetings to whether it'll just be my um, coworkers, management, top management, executives, or the CEO of my company. And Wiphy is definitely effective. And one thing you do not want to get mixed up is you don't want Wiphy and point B to be in your slideshows and your presentation. Wiphy and point B should never be directly in your slides. These should be stated by you. You want to be standing in front of an audience and you want to state these. You want to know like you know what you're talking about. So those are just to navigate through your presentation. Slideshows are just, you don't go in front of a presentation and you just read off of a slideshow. No, you will not get an effective presentation. You will not get a successful presentation. So what slideshows basically are just helping you navigate you through your presentation, through your points, and it helps you get from point A to point B. So those were what I found very effective. And one more point that I want to add before I conclude this summary is the idea that he had in this, the topic he had in this book is bringing your story to life. So there were two, we did a discussion on two. It was verbalization and customization. So the process of verbalization is to prepare and to practice. And verbalization means turning your outline into a full-fledged presentation by practicing it beforehand. That's what Jerry Wiseman said in his book. So you want to speak the actual words you'll use in your presentations aloud. And, you know, of course you're going to have your slideshow. So you're going to have your slideshow. So you want to basically just stand in front of your little brother or even by yourself. You can have your slides throw out and you want to speak the actual words you'll be using in your presentation. This will help you get a feel of what you'll actually be doing and saying in your presentation. It'll bring you to life, and so once you're going into your presentation, you'll be more confident in what you'll be saying. You'll be able to grade yourself before you actually go into a presentation. You'll be able to point out your faults, and you'll be able to find you'll basically be able to grade yourself. And the customization for your presentation is, you know, you want to let's see, I want to say this in a way that so in customization it mentions specifically name or one or more members of the audience. So you want to engage your audience. So you may ask a question directly to a person in the audience, and you never want to say, "Oh, that's a good question," or, you know, like, you never want to ask that because you kind of give off the vibe of you weren't really paying attention. And you also don't want to happen where someone asks another question and you don't say, "Oh, that's a good question," because, you know, people might take that as, "Oh, you're playing favoritism," or they may feel like their question wasn't very as effective as the person before them. So it might make them feel as an outcast, and you do not want that. So customization and verbalization are two very important points when you want to bring your story to life. So addressing a question directly to one or more members of the audience is customization, which can help bring your story to life. And mention specific names and members of the audience will help the audience feel engaged and help them to relate to your presentation more. So I hope that I gave you good enough detail on my learnings and understandings. I really did learn a lot in this book. It's really going to help me in my career in how to go about presenting a presentation. That's probably one of my weakest points right now, is presenting something in front of an audience, because it's something that I'm not used to, but Jerry Wiseman has pointed out